guys, for the first time, welcome to the Back Pocket Creative Podcast. This is the set coming out of the Culture Architect's office, and this is our studio. This is where I spend a lot of my time. We've built this studio back in about January, and it's been really cool. So I finally get to put it to good use for this podcast and get to crank things out. And so thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, however you're tuning in, whether through YouTube or Apple, Spotify, etc. Thank you. I appreciate it. For a while, I've been wanting to start something like this, but I think a lot of other things and external circumstances have held me back, whether it's just a job or it was just, I don't think people want to listen to me or whatever it could be at the time. It was just something that I was not really putting time into or putting a lot of thought into or even wanting to do. But as time went on, I was like, I want to start a podcast. And there were so many different things that I was like, I could do this podcast or I could do this. And I had people pushing me, hey, maybe you should do this kind of podcast. And then as time kind of started to settle, I was like, I think I could do a creative podcast. I think I could cultivate something that creatives would want to listen to and would want to really attach themselves to. And so my desire with this podcast is it far outlives me in the sense that it's not just me that you're hearing from week to week, but there'll also be guests and other people that can bring things to the table. And so with that comes a lot of trying to find people, and I have found and have people in mind that I want to bring on that have things to share, that have good aspects to bring to the table, no matter where they create. And you'll hear from people that create in a lot of different aspects in the creative world, outside of just video or production or graphics or music or whatever. They're operating in other things. And so I'm excited. It's going to be a fun journey. I hope you stick along. This will be a weekly podcast. So for the first couple episodes, it will just be me. I have a good bit of episodes that I've kind of written out and whatnot, and kind of have a vision for where I want to go, at least for a good half of the year. I know this is where we're headed. And then already kind of put feelers out to guests and have people that do want to come on. So as time goes on, you're going to see other faces come in. And the great thing about this studio is we're very well equipped to call people in, so it can still be a high quality production, audio, video, all that is going to be to the nine. And it's great. We have full capability to bring people in from all over the world and talk to them. So it's going to be fun, and I can't wait. And so this week I had a lot of different topics I thought, oh, maybe I could start with, but I think what I want to do is I want to go over what Back Pocket Creative means to me. And I think as I've gone through many different roles that I've had, from being a volunteer in a church and in helping with media to all the way to where I am now, which really what I do now, it depends on the day you ask me. Am I a producer? Am I an editor? Am I filming weddings? Am I filming this, that, the other? Am I consulting? It just depends on what you ask me that day of what I'm actually doing. So I have my hands in a lot of pots now, and I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for all the experiences that I've come across that have got me to this moment, because the truth is that I thought, oh, I'll just be a guy that works in the church forever doing video production, and that's it. And that's really because that's what I got into it for, in the sense of when I got into it, I thought, hey, I love serving. I love being around these people. And you know what? I love video. I love production. And so my very one-track mind at the time was, I'll probably just do video production for the rest of my life. And I didn't know a whole lot of anything else. I basically was in live production when I got into everything, and then I started to learn some post and pre-production, that type of stuff, and then started learning how to edit and starting to learn, oh, like this is how you produce things and this is how you put things together. And so then I got a great job and started learning some things, and then moved on to another job. And in between these jobs was a part of massive live recordings, a part of, product releases, rollouts with campaigns, everything in between. And as I went through all of this, there's been one thing that's remained, and that it's something I picked up early on, and it's that you've got to always have something in your back pocket as a creative. And so what I mean by that is a lot of times, especially depends on how you create, because people are in different sectors and how they see themselves, or how even ideas come to them. There's some people that they can come up with things and they can't necessarily execute it, but they can dream up these things, these visionaries that can dream this, and then they need someone to come alongside. So maybe you're that type of creative, or maybe you're the creator that hears the vision and says, yeah, I can put it out, and I can know how to put it together. And then you have other creatives that come along and they help you actually produce it and make it work. And you have another set of creatives that know how to get it out to the world and say, hey, we're here, this is us. And get the product, or get the message, or get the campaign, or whatever it is out there. And so what I know about all of those facets, because I've been in on all of them. I've been in small teams, I've been in big teams, I've been just creating on my own, where I have a task and I have full autonomy and I have to execute something. And then other times you have to work with people that you like, that you don't like, people that think they know it all, people that do know it all. I've had all of the experiences. And so it's been fun, because I started just doing this thing where when I would have a project, or when I would find out something, or okay, we're going to do this, or we're going to create with this, or these people want us to come in and do this, I would always do my own research. And I would always, if it's a new thing for me or whatever, I would dig as far as I could, and I would get something and I wouldn't tell anybody, and I'd hold it. And I do this to this day. Everything I do, I normally do this, and I hold something there and I don't tell anybody about it. And then I'll come in, I'll do, whether it's consulting or filming or whatever. And sometimes I'll just do it if the moment calls for it, or kind of wait, hold it back. And as the process unfolds, because, you have some projects that are day, you come in, you do something, you crank out an edit, and you're done. But in those opportunities, you need something in your back pocket too, because you have to differentiate yourself from all the people that can do it. So you may be able to do a great edit, but maybe someone can do it faster, and hey, that's their back pocket thing. You can do something, you can make an incredible edit, you can make an incredible graphic, you can make an incredible campaign, but there's someone that can do it a little bit faster. Well, what do you bring to the table as someone that maybe you aren't fast as that person, but what do you bring to the table? Do you bring some excellence? Do you bring an edge? Do you bring just a cerebral understanding of, that field? Like, are you a field expert? Because you have people that are wedding cinematographers, and those type of people are much better than myself, because I don't see myself as a wedding cinematographer. I can film weddings, I can make your wedding look good, but I can't tell the story that these guys have that have dug in. They have their niche, and they make things happen in that specific realm. Now, someone else can come in and they can do it, but not like you, not quite like the wedding cinematographer. And so that's what I mean by, what is your niche? What is the thing that you have in your back pocket that other people don't? What are things that you can walk onto a set, or walk onto a meeting where, you're trying to pitch yourself or pitch what you bring? What is something you have that somebody else doesn't? And so that's what the concept of back pocket creative is. And so every week I'm kind of looking to see, okay, what can I do to kind of look at my journey and offer something to you, the listener, that is something that you can maybe glean from, or say, you know what, that situation, he did this, you know what, if that happens to me, yeah, that's a good idea. And then my desire is to bring on other people that can also have tips for you on how to have something in your back pocket. And as this progresses, that's what I want this to be, because what I've found is that if you can set yourself apart, and you can have something in your back pocket, and you can be this creative that isn't necessarily trying to follow all the trends, but you have something that defines you, something that sets you apart. And the truth is that has to change. That can't always stay the same. What sets you apart now can't necessarily be the thing that sets you apart 3 months from now, because as things happen in different departments and different facets, you're going to have to step up and find something else. And so that's kind of been always my outlook when I walk into somewhere. I'm going, what can I offer here that someone with my same skill set may not be able to offer them? And I may not be a specialist in this area, but I can use that to my advantage. I am not conditioned to this. So that's what, when you're walking into things and maybe you never have done that type of thing, you've never created in that space, good, because you have an outsider's perspective, because they can bring in someone else that's an expert in that field, but they may not see it the way you see it. They may not have the thing you have in your back pocket that makes you unique. They can bring whatever you're creating, whatever you're pitching, whatever you're building, whatever you're editing, the whole nine, whatever you're doing, you can take it to the next level because you have a niche. And so that's really where I feel like I live in. And I think the crazy thing that I've had the perspective on is I would have positions where I was wearing 4 hats. And so I had to have something that set me apart in those 4 areas. I had something in my back pocket, something that I could do, because it's hard when you're not unique, when you're just the same cookie cutter, because yeah, you can get replaced, and I don't really care about being replaced. If I get replaced, I get replaced. But I want something that keeps me loving it, that keeps me engaged and keeps me perfecting my craft. And if I just get comfortable doing the old thing and doing the old whatever, then I'm going to get bored. And I think that's the thing that a lot of creatives fight, is we fight boredom, especially in a job where you are hired to be creative. You're hired to create. It can be very, very, very boring to come to work and do the same thing over and over again, and film talking head videos over and over again, and make graphics about the same thing every week over and over again, and build a website and build a web page. It's the same thing every single time. It can get boring. And as creatives, we have to set the temperature of the room and say, we're not going to get bored. We're going to keep this fresh. And all that means is consume content. Get with people that you can create with, that pitch ideas that, hey, you're not going to be scared of them stealing your idea, because, hey, you know what? You're going to do it better than them. You can execute, because that's the thing. Somebody can steal your idea. Somebody can steal that back pocket thing, but they can't execute it like you. And so what? They steal it. Okay, do it better. Create better. You know what? In 2 months, get something else in your back pocket. Cook something else up. Come out the gate swinging. And that's my passion behind this entire project and this entire deal, is I want to be able to hopefully help you see things in certain lights that maybe you haven't, and give perspective on things that maybe you haven't, and then bring other people from other places and give you perspective on their field and what they do and their creative process. Because as someone that consumes a lot of podcasts and listens to a lot of people that are all kinds of different lifestyles on the spectrum, I like hearing how they deal with things, how they process things. And so that's what I hope this podcast can be for you. Not just hearing me talk, but hearing others share and others give you good ideas and good thought processes. And, you know, at the end of the day, that's where I want to hang my hat on. So every episode, that's what I'm going to push. That's where we're headed. And, you know, I want to encourage you this week, you know, think about things that set you apart, write them down, and rejoice in them. They're what set you apart, but constantly be evolving, constantly be thinking, how can I get better at this craft? Or one thing that I always fought, and I mentioned in the beginning, but this is something I kind of didn't get to there, was I thought I was just going to be this broadcast guy, this live production guy, and that's it. And then I go somewhere and I got to learn Photoshop, and then I got to learn how to build a website, and then I got to learn marketing, and I got to market, and all of these things on the spectrum. And then 2 years prior to me doing that, I said I would never do that. I don't need to learn Photoshop. I'll always have somebody that can make it for me and I'll use it. It's no big deal. But as time progressed, I realized there's an edge to someone that can do multiple things, that have an understanding and worked in those areas, because then it's easier to create with the graphic design artist. It's easier to create with the web guy. It's easier to create with the audio technician. It's easier to create with whoever if you're able to learn a little bit, because, you know, there's the I'm good at all, I'm the master of none. And while I understand that, I think that I became better at video. I think I became better at editing. I became better at what I love because I got involved in marketing. I got involved in graphic design. I got involved on the other side of things. And so then I began to realize, oh, what if we add this in the video? Or what if the video cuts like this and it's edited in such a way that it makes this the forefront? And what it does is it gives you an edge, because you're not just the video editor, you also have a marketing mind. So you film things in a way that help market something better than someone who's maybe a better editor than yourself or better cinematographer than yourself. But what it does is it opens the window for you to do better in your field. And so that's one thing that I wish I could tell my younger self, was don't discount learning other things. Don't see it as a waste of time, because while you may spend a season learning one thing, it can help you substantially in your field. And sometimes, like, I realized, oh, I really like marketing. I really like that side of things. Am I great at it? No, but I understand it just enough to be able to do things on it. And what's great is that I've been able to cultivate other things in my life because of the things I've learned through marketing. And so that's why I think it's very key that it's okay if you've got to go learn Photoshop and learn how to make a little logo and how to do things, because it'll help you. Or if you're if you're a photographer, you know what? It may not hurt to learn how to take video and how to edit video. You're not going to be the best at it, but maybe it'll help you a little bit in your field. Or maybe you're an audio technician. Well, maybe, you know what? Maybe a video or taking pictures or marketing, maybe that might help you in some way and fashion. You say, oh, well, no, that has nothing to do with it. Well, you are able then to learn the people that you're normally working alongside of, because the thought process of the people you're working alongside of, because a lot of times all of these fields work together. So if you know what goes into that field, you can better help those people that you're around. And then by that, you're building a better creative process, and that comes into the collaboration. We'll have an episode on that, but that can help collaboration. So as I close here, the biggest thing is thank you for supporting me. If you can tag, share, anything you can do like that to help me, thank you. Appreciate you tuning in, and I hope you join me next week on episode 2.